solution. And the solution involves a bunch of different things, but it's mostly simple web stuff, because now I have the basics. I have a database, I have a web app running on the local server, and I have the ability to store information in a database. And there's a question in the Dory page asking if there is support for MySQL, for C#, or for other languages. I don't know that much very well. You should go on the webpage for App Engine and look at the news for that. I know we're adding more and more supports every day, so stay in touch, and if the language you want is not there, it will be there someday pretty soon. So if I restart the server, now I have my final application. Let me zoom in a little bit. And my final application is a map where I can see everything, and I can click, and I can see the users. If I sign out, and I sign with another address as another user, I still have my map, and I see the other users, whoops, and I can add other location, and this time it's adding locations using Stein address. Oh, and by the way, I want to show you something, because I can't resist. Sorry, I'm zooming on the map. This is Zurich. This is where we are right now. And let me see if I can do that. So we are located around here. And yes, so this is Zurich, and this is the Google building in Zurich. And actually, we are talking from behind one of those windows right now. So I'm moving my hand. I don't see if you can see me. This is where we are in Google. So it's a bit of showing off, but it's actually to show you that I have an application fully running where I can use all the power of Map Street View. And the cool thing is that in that map, I can actually show my location, and all my friends can show the location, and boom, it's working. So here I created a bunch of locations. Now the persistence, right? So the last thing I want to show you is that if I sign out and I resign being an administrator this time, I can go to the admin page I mentioned, and here I have the ability to look at my database with something very similar to PHP MySQL, right? And I can do anything I want on the data. I can see things, I can select all of them and delete them. So not only I have a persistent database, very simple to use, but I have a complete administration panel that I can use to control my database. So the last thing I need to do here is I need to put this application online. And the way I do that, now that my application is done, is by just running a single command on the terminal. And, it's update. Here's the command. So what it's doing is that it's taking my file locally, it's uploading them on my App Engine account, which I created this morning, and you can create as many of them as you want for your application. And it's going to upload this, and it's going to make it live. So in a couple of seconds, or let's say 30 seconds, you'll be able to test the application live. So as you can see, it's uploading the file, and it was just one command line. No FTP, no need to synchronize, to download or upload. Everything is kept in sync with a single command. So I'll wait for the file to upload and for the server to restart. And I'll show you the live demo, and maybe what we can do at the end of the talk is that you can, all of those who have a laptop, you can connect using your Gmail account, if you have one, and show me where you are in the city. In the meantime, I want to show you that the application is not that complex in the end. It's just a couple of files. Most of them are actually less than 20 lines. I printed the code, and it's just about 5 pages, so it's pretty simple. So I hope that you'll download this code and use it as a skeleton. It is more complete. It demonstrates more features than any other tutorial currently available on App Engine online. So we worked on this specially for you so that you can start developing your things in Middle East and in North Africa. So now we're done with the coding, and I would like to, so I'm going to close this. I'm waiting for my website to upload. And now I want to go back to some slides, and I want to show you some other things that you can use from Google to develop your ideas. So let's start with some slides again. And after that, I think we'll be done, and we'll deserve a good break. So, what we've seen up to now is really for coders, for developers. We've seen two kinds of technologies that you can use. The first one is Web API, which is a lot of functionality that you call remotely. There is no need to download or install, and everything is online. The second technology is an App Engine, which offers you, with only two commands, the ability to test a fully running web application and to upload it online. And you have powerful functionalities like authentication, persistence, database, admin backend. You can even send email. There's a lot of things you can do. But this is only one side of developing an innovative application. Because the first thing you need is you need to have a good idea. And then you need to have a couple of friends to work with on. Because it's never possible to create an application, something really great, if you're alone. So what we provide as Google is not only the technology so that you can prototype the code very quickly, we also provide you with a bunch of other things. First, Google is very compliant to the standards. So here we've seen usage of HTML5 and CSS3. It is really good. It offers more semantic, better styling, and it is a standard. So if you use it, you're sure it's going to work on every major browser. So, in the application, in the normal tutorial, and the one you'll see on the video, I'll tour you through finishing the application. Here, I've been a bit quickly because I want to finish on time, but on the video, you will see all the things here. What I want to do now is I want to tour you through some other APIs and tools that you can use provided by Google. So there's a bunch of API. One very handy is the Google Libraries API. It allows you to use all the major non-Google libraries, such as jQuery, Scriptaculous, and Prototype, and you can have them served directly from the web. There's also the Google Chart API. The Google Chart API is something pretty neat. Let me switch to that. So the Google Chart API is a way for you to create cool images from your data. So let's say you have some data, some statistics usage, some information, and you want to show some cool graphs. You can do that with the Chart API. So once again, it's a single remote call to some API, and you're able to generate images directly for you. And you can do pretty amazing things with that. I can't resist going in the gallery. And for example, you can use this API to generate images that you can use on maps. And this is exactly what Stein did earlier for the maps. And some people have been using the Chart API to do amazing things. If you go through the documentation here, you'll have more. And once again, it's an example of how Google comes with technology. Everything is open. You can download the code. You have a website with documentation. You have a form. You have frequently asked questions. The other API you might be interested in is the YouTube API. So once again, I'm going to show it to you. The YouTube API actually offers you the ability to show any information related to your YouTube video. So you're a YouTube user, you upload video, and you want to show some statistics like play a video, show how many viewers, show what's the most popular video, and you want to embed this in your website. Let's say you want to make a map of Cairo where you're going to show the latest video uploaded from people in Cairo. You can do that using the YouTube API. So if you have a very cool idea of an application, you can use all those API to quickly prototype something. And if you can gather with you some friends, then you'll start something, and very quickly you'll have innovation. At least this is what we expect from this tutorial. But once again, this is all about coding. Those are API. This is just the ability for you to use powerful functionalities without having to code them. What you have to code is only the glue in between things. But Google offers you other things, because when you develop a project, You also need tools for collaborating. And there is no ultimate tool. There is no Swiss Army cool tool for that, right? What you need to learn is you need to learn many different tools and you need to combine them. Some of these tools are Google. Some of those tools are not Google. I'm not using a text editor by Google. Sometimes my browser that I use is not necessarily Chrome, right? Some people claim that you can do everything with Google tools, but this is not what we claim, right? What we want you to remember from today is that you can use Google tools to start something quickly. But if you have a better tool, you can use it too. So some of the tools that I want to show you very quickly is this. The first one is Chrome. Chrome is very important because if you want to develop an application and you want to make sure that all your users can have it, if you try to make it cross-platform, it is sometimes difficult. If you're using Chrome, you can make the safe assumption that any user can have Chrome. So it's not about pushing a Google product. The reason why we have Chrome is so that we can ensure anybody has an access to a web browser, whatever the platform, and it's going to be free. The other thing that you have, which is very important, is that you have email. It's very easy for you to set up email accounts that you use just for your project, and then you can chat using Google Talk, and then you can send information, and you have everything. You don't have to pay. This is free. You can start all the collaboration you need using this. The last thing we offer is Google Docs. So you might think Google Docs is just for making Word documents or Excel spreadsheets. It is not true. It's actually a very powerful tool that you can use to collaborate. And I'm just going to show you some quick demo of that. So let me switch back to my browser. And I'm going to show you how I can use Google Docs to gather some information that I want to present to my users. So let me connect to my phone. And here we are. So in Google, you can create documents, and there is one cool feature. You can create spreadsheets. So I know it's pretty small. I'm going to zoom for 1 second. Here it is. So it's a standard Excel-like spreadsheet where I have information that I want to collect. And this information, I can have it from a form. And the form is just really this, where I can actually automatically fill the information in my spreadsheets with this. And look at that. I really want you to look at this. Edit the form, and here I can ask the questions. So this is actually the form I'm going to ask you to fill so that we can improve this class. I've seen many questions about the fact that we should do the class separate in Cairo and Aman. So let's say I want to add a question about this. So I'm going to go in my form. I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to ask the question, should we break? Should we separate Cairo and Aman? And the question is just multiple choice. The option 1 is yes, the option 2 is no. And you don't have to answer to that question if you want. Then I save it, and here it is. I have my form. And now this form, I want to make it available in my web page. Nothing more simple. It's automatically saved. I just go there. I want to embed the form in a web page. It gives me some link. This link I copy, and I just have to copy paste it into my web page, and boom, it's alive, and you can answer the question. So I'll send you the link to that form, and you will be able to fill it, and we'll use the information. And what is really, really cool, and I want you to remember that, is that I can do this in less than 10 seconds. I actually created this form during the break, honestly. And once you will go onto the form and you will answer it, automatically I will have all the information available into that spreadsheet. But what is really great is that I have an API to talk to that spreadsheet, which means that I will be able to automatically process the information. And for example,